If everybody had the same level of focus and attention to the things that was supposed to be priority in their life,
Hmm.
we have a lot less time for the distractions and a lot less time for things that are frivolous and mean make no impact in their life.
Yeah. Every inch of that shows more success, more success, more
I
success.
do I do I.
Crossing the bridge to their own accomplishments. How do you stay so disciplined in what you do on a regular basis? And I said, well, yes. Greetings, all, one and all. Greetings to everyone following us at the bridge. We got a very special guest in the building today. My friend, would you like to do the honors and introduce yourself?
What's up, my brother Lou? My name is Quincy. You hear me? First and foremost, bro, I appreciate you for having me on your platform. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think highly of you, brother, for real, man. So when you invited me to come on here, I had to take it. I had to come take the opportunity to chop it up anytime.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, my name Quincy. I'm from New Orleans.
Uh,
I've been living in Atlanta for a while. As Lou know, we work together, do some things together and
right?
stuff like that. So yeah, we just working things out. What's happening, brother? What's going
You
on with
heard
you?
me?
You heard me? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what we
No,
say in New Orleans. You heard me? You
you
dig?
heard
All
me?
that.
Uh-huh. After this video, they're gonna be like, yeah, they heard us today. Hopefully they heard us today,
Yo,
man. We
that's
got
the
some very
plan.
powerful information that we wanted to reveal to the people today, in terms of crossing the bridge to their own accomplishments. And right now, as you guys can see, we have a very fit, a successfully fit brother on the line. Definitely. Oh, look how see, every inch of that shows more success, more success, more
I
success.
do I do I.
So yeah, man, the people want to know, I want to know, metaphorically speaking, um, how did you cross the bridge to your success, your successful journey when it comes to, let's start with fitness.
You know, that's an interesting question, bro, because I think for me, it's a never-ending journey. I don't think I'm still on the way to cross the bridge completely. I've been a work in progress,
Mm-hmm.
but I think when I first started working out, I was playing football for high school.
Okay.
And actually before the football season started, I started preparing myself
Uh-huh.
because I knew I was about to go play against some guys bigger than me. So I started lifting weights and trying to get my muscle up.
Right.
And throughout high school, I worked out, tried to be fit so I could compete. And after high school, I played semi-pro
Mm-hmm.
and I continued my regimen, working out hard, going to the gym, lifting weights. And I always cared about my strength, looking at my muscle tone. I wanted to be fit to some degree.
Right.
And I think in the beginning I was looking at like wrestlers and stuff, getting inspired
Uh-huh.
by the old wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, the
Uh-huh.
Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, now Hulk
Stuff.
Hogan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I actually had a Hulk Hogan. It was a little rubber little toy. Remember those little rubber wrestler toys? I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was making the muscle. I had the Iron Sheik. I had
Uh-huh. Oh, you had Iron Sheik.
I had the Iron Sheik. I think I had Junkyard Dog as well.
What about Rowdy Piper?
I don't, you know what? I did have a Roddy, yeah, with the red on. I had Roddy Piper. I sure did. Yes. I
Uh-huh.
did. Yeah. And, those things, I always had a knack or interest for wanting to be fit. So playing football and all throughout my life, it continued. And at an older age,
Hmm.
it's more so about survival, right? Because
Right.
for me, I think I continue to chase, I want to say, the next level or the highest level of my physique or fitness so I can hopefully add some extra years to the end of my life. Because at this point, man, brothers my age, seeing brothers and sisters dying at a young age,
Oh man.
diseases, things that could have been avoided, man, heart attack, stroke.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's what motivates me to to shorten it up for you. That's what motivates me to continue to chase my goals, my fitness goals, and
Uh-huh.
try my best to do the right thing as it relates to my fitness. Yeah.
Right. You know, it's ironic, man. I was talking to this lady today, and we was talking about, she said, how do you stay so disciplined in what you do on a regular basis? And I said, well, honestly, number one, it started from like when I first started this journey and I started becoming healthier and healthier. and I realized what how good health felt. I was like, oh man, I don't never want to lose this feeling ever again. So
Right.
I'm not gonna slack. I'm not gonna allow you to offer me donuts and all this other BS that's gonna
Yeah.
infiltrate my body and make me lose my energy, possibly get sick, possibly have to call out of work, possibly have to do a whole bunch of different things that I don't want to do, like take a trip to the hospital. And that was like one of my biggest motivations, which helps me to stay disciplined in life. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I kind of related to what you just said when you said that you know you were going to deal with people who are bigger than you. You know, now we can use that as a metaphor because in life, in the things that you're trying to be successful in, there's always going to be things and or people or companies that are bigger than you. So
Mhm.
how do you deal with that? Like, you know, just from your perspective, how would you deal with that?
And that's a great point because, like you said, we always aspiring to get to whether it be the next level or the next mindset as far as things, frequency to help us navigate throughout life. And I mean, yeah, man, it's a constant battle. It's a constant battle because even when I get to a certain point, I move the goalposts. I'm
Right,
trying to
right,
get further. I'm trying to go deeper. And
right.
so it's a never, I've already accepted that it's a never ending fight. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I should get to no point in life where I feel like I've arrived and
Right,
my job is done.
right,
I feel
right.
like growth is definitely something that is a continuous process, and I believe that as long as I'm on this planet, I'm going to continue to grow and be educated and chase dreams, goals, and things like that to
Mhm.
fulfill, yeah, this life in general, man. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you mentioned goals. What do you think about goals? How urgent is it for people to have goals, and what do you do to help you ensure yourself that you are accomplishing your goals, or at least moving closer and closer to accomplishing them?
Like, this is good because for me, when you talk about goals, you also ultimately you're talking about purpose to me, and
Right, right. I like that.
you're talking about purpose because when you have a purpose, when you understand your purpose, when you make up your mind
Hmm.
that you want something for yourself, you
Hmm.
begin to create a map, a roadmap to get there, to achieve that.
Right,
In that which stands, you will have you have to develop a strategy.
right.
And in creating that strategy, there should be checkpoints along the way.
Hmm.
These checkpoints is what we know as goals.
Hmm.
So, and that's typically, how we want to design our life, but we really want to see some real growth and success and be able to track our progress from one stage to the next. Because a lot of people, I think they get caught up in just living day to day
Hmm.
and they're not keeping score. They're not looking back saying, let me see where I was at, let me see what progress I've made. So for
Right.
me, yeah, man, I just feel like, to get those goals, man, you got to have a purpose for one, and you have to have a realistic idea and plan to get to where you want to go. And the methodology that you use to get there needs to be tracked, and goals will help you do it. So without goals, essentially, you have no roadmap. You know what I mean? I mean, we should be chasing something in general, in my opinion. Yeah.
I like that metaphor, man. Without goals, you have no roadmap. And
Mhm.
let's just use that analogy for a second, right? Let's say you driving from here in Atlanta to over there to New Orleans, where you from, right? And
Mhm.
if you have no roadmap, you're gonna be possibly distracted by signs
Mhm.
that you think are taking you to where you're trying to go, but really they're taking you someplace aimlessly because you have no what? No
Mhm.
roadmap, no goals. And then you mentioned purpose. Oh my gosh, I love that as well because you know what I realized? People who get mad for any reason, people who allow themselves to be derailed, people who allow themselves to let other people push their buttons, it's because they have no purpose, they have no goals, they have nothing to focus on that makes them say, man, I can't even hear you right now, son. You
Mhm.
heard me?
Yes, you heard me. Yeah, that's facts, bro. Like for real. Like if everybody had the same level of focus and attention to the things that was supposed to be priority in their life,
Hmm.
we have a lot less time for the distractions and a lot less time for things that are frivolous and mean make no impact in their life.
Yes.
So it's important, man, because again, it's a lot of people out here doing that. People are just existing. People are just going from day to day. They're not even thinking about tomorrow.
Right.
And believe it or not, I believe it's more people in that stage than people that actually are that actually making progress in life and have their things in order, man. It's a lot of people. I'll be talking about the 99% right now. I mean, I don't want to say 99, maybe about 60% of people, society, is in that state where there is no progress. It's just existence. And
Right.
you want to try to never end up in that number. So
It's kind of like that sleepwalking phase where you just drifting,
mhm.
back and forth from home to work and then back to home and then maybe one or two pit stops in between and then you come back and you do it again and then you ask yourself, man, why isn't anything changing for me? Or why can't I have anything more than what I have? Because like I talk to several people, I'm talking to people just like you, talking to people on a regular basis. And it's like weird, like how many people just accept their life for what it is at the moment, and they just think that they just can't do nothing else or nothing more. They just think, oh yeah, well I'm at this job, and even though I hate it, even though I look forward to Fridays and dread Mondays, I'm just gonna deal with it and just hang out with it. You know what I mean? As opposed to taking some of their spare time and possibly working on something like you said, and moving the goalpost just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, as you accomplish one thing, because
that
one day you're going to realize that you've accomplished a lot. Like for example, like writing a book, right? People be like, yo,
mhm.
L, man, how can I write a book, man? Like what should I do? I'm like, just write. If
Yeah,
you write at least one page every day, at the end of the year, how many pages would they have?
365 pages.
You
That's
feel me?
facts, That's facts. That's a book.
That's
That's a
three
that's a pretty
books.
thick book. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
That's like three
dictionary.
books. Part one, part two, part three.
Facts, yo.
You
I've
feel
never
me?
heard it broken down like that, but that is a great analogy, because it is something it's more achievable for somebody to say, I'm gonna write a page a day, or I'm just
Right.
going, you know what I mean? And that's how I think that's the better way to look at anything in life. You break it down in small pieces, which we talked
Yes.
about goals. And in doing that, you can focus on the shorter distance. A lot of people get overwhelmed because they look
Mhm.
at where they are and where they want to go, and it just seems so far away. It just
Right.
seems so impossible to achieve this massive thing.
Right.
And I think if you do it like you just broke down, one thing at a time. I mean, you say Rome wasn't built overnight. I mean, one brick at a time. I
Uh-huh.
got to pick up one brick and put it right over there. That's it.
Right.
I'll pick up another brick and put it over there. And eventually you look back and you have a whole house or you
Right.
have a whole building or whatever. And I think that's the issue, man. I talk to so many people
Uh-huh.
in my profession, as you know, and I mean I think the belief system that people have also plays a part. And you try to talk to them and give them an inspiration, and you try to tell them about it's not the end of your life. It's not the end. You got to think higher, think bigger. You don't have to just deal with that situation. I
Uh-huh.
had a lady just the other day riding with me. I had her with me, and she was telling me that she was happy that she was working at, I believe it was AutoZone or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And she said she made good money.
Right.
I
Right.
said,
Right.
okay, so you make good money out. I said, oh, cool. I say, well, they're taking good care of you. I'm pretty sure you're happy.
Uh-huh.
She was telling me right before that she was struggling to pay bills.
Mm.
And I didn't think even, I'm like, you just said you made good money.
Right.
Right before that, you say you're struggling to make bills.
Right.
Like, are you even looking at another opportunity to make more money at all? So I asked her, I say, if you make a lot of money, why are you struggling to make bills? Do you think you need a job that makes more money?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, or you could spending less also as an option. But uh and what I realized is that she told me that she was making $17 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and she said it proudly. It
Right.
was
Oh,
like, I
wow.
make
Right.
$17
Right.
an hour. I'm like, okay, so what you might want to understand is that there's jobs, there's things you can do without even getting a job. You can create a job as an entrepreneur. There's things that you can do that can get you a lot more than $17 an hour,
Big fat.
first and foremost. And
Yep.
this lady, I mean, I can tell that she had no idea that it was anything else out there better than that $17 an hour. So a lot of it got to do with belief.
Right.
And I try to talk to people, many people as I can, and just maybe have that conversation like, yo, this doesn't have to be your final destination, man. There's a lot more out there for you.
I like that. I
Hmm.
like that. I mean, but at the same time, maybe those people are willing to accept that their paycheck can fund their dream. When,
Hmm.
in my opinion, there is no paycheck that could fund my dream. My dreams are bigger than, a paycheck, you know? So maybe for them, they figure 17, 18, $19 is as far as they can dream. When, I feel like we were born without limits, bro. It's the everyday programming that puts us in the category of having limitations. You know what I'm saying? And people get stuck with living in the box, having the fishbowl mindset. They can't see what goes on outside of the fishbowl, so they just settle,
Blinders on, yeah.
settle. But yo, I really want to ask you something, man. I want to ask you about your YouTube channel, man. We was talking
Word.
about that a couple of weeks ago,
Hmm.
or was it like a couple of months ago now? I just wanted to know, can you give me an update?
Yeah, well, first of all, I do a podcast with a crew of mine called Gumbo Talk Podcast.
Uh-huh.
And
Gumbo talk,
feel
okay.
yeah, Gumbo Talk is it's a New Orleans thing. I'm from New Orleans, and the other cast members also from New Orleans.
Yeah,
And we named it that because gumbo, the idea is that gumbo is a lot of things in a pot, a lot of
right,
food, different
right.
things in the pot. So that variety of things in a pot is kind of describe the conversations that we have, as a kind of analogy of that. But yeah, man, ultimately we started a YouTube channel to run the podcast, and also, well, we've been doing it first and foremost. We've been doing it for about 2 years now.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
if anybody want to check us out, go to YouTube, gumbotalk.com, Gumbo Talk on YouTube, actually. And you
okay.
can also go to Gumbo Talk on Instagram, TikTok, and we also on Facebook as a group.
Y'all hear
So
that, y'all? Gumbo talk.
Gumbo Talk, yes, sir. And
Yo, I got a question slash suggestion when you finish.
we talk about a lot of different topics, man. I'm from politics to, we break down issues that happen, current events, viral stuff that happens. It could be relationships, a lot
Yeah.
of stuff, man. We get into, and ultimately, I recently just started my own personal YouTube channel as well, which I'm going to be doing my own podcast.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'll give you an update on that real soon. But that's going to be my next coming project. And
Hmm.
if you guys follow me on Instagram or whatever, on TikTok as well, I can update you on there. I'll also let Lou know, and I'll come back and keep everybody up to date on that.
Yo,
But
so
yeah,
send me your links and I could put that in the description for them. But two things actually. Gumbo. Does that is that an acronym for anything? And if not, maybe you can use it for one.
it's a great idea.
You know what
I've
I'm saying?
never, it's not an acronym, but I've never even thought about using it because the way we spell gumbo is differently, by the way. I should have said that the first time. So
Okay.
we don't do gumbo, Gumbo. That's the basic word of gumbo. We spell it gumbo is in Gumbeaux.
Okay.
Gumbo. So that's like a
G
it's like a
U.
little,
You said
yeah,
G U. Uh-huh.
Gumbeaux. Yes, sir. Gumbo. Yep. Yeah, it's like a French spelling almost. So it's basically yeah, it's like a New Orleans
My,
thing.
my brain was just spinning like
Yeah.
like goals
Hmm.
under construction, making, or getting
Hmm.
getting universal mindset.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Something like that. Hey, you could play with that, man. That could be powerful,
I like that, man.
you
I
know?
like that. I absolutely do. Yes,
And
sir. Appreciate
here's my
that.
other question I want to ask you. I thought you were gonna do a fitness YouTube channel.
Well, the thing is, check it out. So the fitness YouTube is going to be combined with
Uh-huh.
my podcast. I'm going to
Oh,
do it
okay.
together. I'm
Okay.
going to be tackling things, fitness, all things fitness, growth in general.
All right.
It's going to be kind of like more like you know, health, uh, all around mental health, physical health type
Right.
thing is what I'm going to be focusing on. So it's just going to be kind of one of those places you go to be inspired in all things positive, you
Got
know.
you, got you, got
Yeah,
you.
man. Yes, sir.
So
That's my
so
passion.
can we speak transparently for a second?
Yes, sir. Let's do it. What's up?
So, 'cause I know we spoke about this a few weeks ago, so how come you didn't start it yet?
So check it out. Let me tell
Because
you about another thing.
this could be powerful for the viewers. That's
Let
why.
me tell you another thing, yo.
Yeah.
I struggle with something called procrastination.
Mm,
You know how the alcoholics say the first step is to admit.
bruh,
Okay,
that is
so
powerful. Ding, 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 ding.
so for me, I have struggled with procrastination for a long time, and I
Huh.
talk to Brother Lou about that often. We talk, have conversations about it. He's always a good inspiration. But one of
Thank
the things that I decided recently was that that's a thing of the past. It
you.
is not
Okay.
going to, it's not going to be something that's going to hold me. I'm not going to allow it to hold me captive any longer. So that's why I was saying that, these things are in movement already now because I have procrastinated so long, and done.
Right,
Now, don't get me wrong. Now, having the group podcast going has also been a thing to take some of my time up, my energy up,
right,
stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is eventually I'll transition from
right.
that, possibly try to do both of them for a while. But if I have to step away, I'll step away and focus on my own thing because it's the next phase of growth. We
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
talked about that. For me, everything that we're doing has to lead to some form of a growth and success on a bigger level.
Right, right.
And I just want to use that experience, use that opportunity to grow and stuff like that to transfer it into my own space where I can do things
Okay.
my own way and invite everybody in from the podcast that I'm doing now, as well as yourself and other people that has been a blessing to my life in general, bro.
So your procrastination was strictly because of what? Time?
My procrastination, it wasn't, I wouldn't say because of time. My procrastination was more so, I think the reason for it probably, and I don't want to say fear because I think that's what a lot of people, it may still somehow allude to that,
Uh-huh.
but it was more so for me, just the ability to actually just start. Like for
Okay.
me, I'm a person that has a lot of things. I do a lot. My hand is in a lot of different pots,
Okay.
a lot of different things. So if I'm doing, I talked to my son the other day about. I told him, I say, you don't want to be a jack of all trades and the master of none. And because
Okay.
sometimes you find yourself, you got your hand in everything, but you haven't made any real progress in any field because
Right,
you're
right,
trying to do everything at once.
right.
And that's kind of what I was speaking about. I might have to step away from the other podcast just to focus on myself because your energy, they say energy flows where energy goes.
Yes.
And we try to the mental man is so important to constantly do things to keep our mental sharp daily, routines, habits, things that we do to make sure our mind is sharp because distractions are all around us. I mean, stress also can derail you. The one of the most unavoidable things obviously is health, which I knock on wood, I don't have any health issues.
Right,
But
right.
other than that, man, working a lot of hours and stuff like that on a job can take away from, and I know you can speak to that, Lou, can take away your commitment to actually building your own thing
Yeah.
outside of that job. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I mean, a lot of it boils down to time management.
Mhm.
A lot of people sit around and while they're at work, let's say they're on a break, or let's say they have a break that they didn't ask for, but they're still getting paid for it. Like, business is slow and they just sitting there chilling, scrolling through the phone, not really trying to be as productive as they possibly can be. There are if you want to be successful, you have to make every day count, every moment count. Even while you at work, do something that you can do when there's a break, whether it's feeding your brain, like reading something, like bring a book with you to work, bring a notebook with you so you could take notes, because a lot of times you get ideas from, let's say, a customer or a coworker, and then you get an idea, and you're like, oh, that's a good idea, man, I can make money from that. Then you get distracted or busy, boom, now that thought is gone. You see what I'm saying? So
Facts. Yeah.
to me, it's all about like utilizing every moment that you in to the maximum that you could. And one of the best ways to do that is to have a pen and paper. You know what I mean? And to have people such as yourself that you could bounce ideas off of, that you can
Yeah.
mastermind different, concepts and business, suggestions from and stuff like that. And
Right. I want to add to that, man, because
uh,
you're bringing up a lot of thoughts, that things that I actually did that I want to
uh-huh,
say. A lot of the way I kind of like, the way I've been beating procrastination as of late is
right,
one of the things I do, like you said, and I don't use the. I do have a pen and paper. I keep with me at all time, by the way. I use the pen and
right,
paper also. But another thing that I found is really helpful is I have not only I have a calendar on my phone.
mm-hmm,
If you have things you want to do, you could write that in your calendar. Your calendar will send you a reminder. You know what I
right,
mean? And though I found that to be real helpful, I even like call out sometime if I'm doing something, if I'm driving something, I call out to Siri
uh-huh,
and I'll say, yo, and I'll say what it is I want. I don't want to say not because my phone will ask me what you want, but I'll say what I want to do. And at the time I want it to remind me.
uh-huh.
And sure enough, as a matter of fact, you saw that the other day when I told you I was going to call you that night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, facts. So I found that tactic to be one of my most helpful routines. And I'll tell anybody, man, when you are trying to do something and either you don't have the memory, you're a procrastinator, you are trying something totally different from something you've ever done before, you got to understand the level of battle that your mind is in, and you got to use all things necessary available to fight against that and force yourself into this new identity or this new thing that you're trying to do, because essentially that's what you're doing. You're kind of like changing. You're trying to you know develop something that you didn't have before.
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know and that's one of the things I had to realize, man, that it's a real fight. It's a battle. It's a real battle, and I need all the weapons I can grab to get to fight against his mind, because your mind wants you to continue to do the same thing that you've been doing. The
Right,
mind wants you the mind wants you comfortable. The
right,
mind wants you safe, you
right,
know. And if you dare say I'm gonna get fit today, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna every day I'm gonna do push-ups or whatever,
mm-hmm,
your mind is gonna trick you and tell you everything in its power to tell you why you should eat that ice cream, why
uh-huh,
you should eat that cake, and just go ahead on and eat that one piece. That it's not gonna hurt nothing. Stuff,
right,
so it's a constant battle, man. And I had to realize that. I see, I've been at this for a while, and I know how it's gonna go. I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to have a strategy, and adversity is going to hit, or I'm gonna have some issues. I might be mentally drained for a moment,
mm-hmm.
and that's when it attacks.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
developing a plan how to get through that is essential, because you will be tested when you're trying to do something different. Not to get too off topic, but I wanted to just kind of say that, man, because it's a battle, man.
right, right, right. Nah, I definitely hear you, bro. You know what one of the remedies is for me, what that is, it's like they say that you are the sum of the five people you hang with the most, right? And you were saying how your mind, your mind, your mind, but I kind of feel like it's kind of like your mind from the programming that you have, your mind from the immediate people who are always putting input into your mind. So the five people you be with the most is is what you are the sum of. So if you're not content with the sum, not you using third person, like
I
if you're
got you.
not content with your result of life, then maybe you should either change your friends and or this is one that I did and I freaking love it. Reconstruct your immediate environment, like your room. Your room should be your orbit. Your room should have pictures, quotes, phrases, words of things that you are trying to become and trying to do. So that way you see it on a regular basis. You're reprogramming your mind to see
Powerful.
it, to hear it, and to know what you're trying to accomplish on a regular basis. And have at least two, three, four books around you, you know what I'm saying, that is helping you to cross that line to where you're trying to go. So before you go to sleep and before you grab your phone and just start looking to see what's going on Facebook, You could grab that book and say, let me read at least one page. If you could write one page a day, you could read one page a day. You know what I'm saying? So like that, you're sharpening your mind, sharpening the sword, and that's gonna help you to bring you closer to where you're trying to go. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
powerful. That's powerful because if you talk about your circle, and I understand what you're saying when you say the people you're around, because I
Yeah.
will go even further. Like, when you said it as well, not just the people, but your environment. You are what you eat, and the things that you put into your mind, put into your body, put into your environment, all play a part on your thinking. You know what I mean? So
Right.
lucky for me, I got a pretty powerful circle, man. I got some brothers around me, man, including yourself, man. I mean, a lot of high frequency players, doing big things, and the inspirations to me.
Right.
I'm at the stage in my life where I can't personally be around people too long that don't have no motion, don't have no progress, not about something, growing in some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to stay in the lost land of conversation too long if you're talking to me. I
Right.
mean, we
Right.
might can, we talk about some sports here and there. Yeah, I'm knowledgeable about a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna chop it up with brothers about all kind of stuff.
Right.
But
Right.
ultimately, in my circle of friends, we're gonna bring it around to, okay, so what's next for you? What you got going on?
Uh-huh.
Is there anything I can help you with? Anything, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Or whatever case may be, because it's all about growth, man.
Yes,
And
sir.
absolutely. So yeah, man, that environment is important. So you saying that is very powerful, brother.
Yes, man. And yo, before we get to the closing, I want to say, piggyback on what you just said. To me, one of the people that I've heard say that the best was 50 Cent. He said that his grandfather told him that you're only going to get as far as the people that you talk to for no reason. Bro, that like blew my mind when I heard it because I was like, man, I'm from New York too, so I could relate, man. Just walking to the corner store, people are gonna want to talk to you and talk to you and say, hey, you saw what happened to Tasha and them? Hey, yo, you saw what happened yesterday? Hey, yo, man, I was over here by the spot and then woo, 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 woo. And I'm like, when you're in that, the fishbowl, you don't think nothing of it
Right.
till somebody tries to help you and tell you, yo, bro, there's something different, there's something better, and I feel like nowadays I deserve more. I think you deserve more. We deserve more. We
Yes,
deserve
sir.
more than what we're allowing ourselves to settle for, bro. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So,
Hmm.
if you could, man, give us a quick summarization. What's one of your best summarizations from today's conversation to give back to the people?
Man, look, I just feel like iron sharpens iron overall. I think that our mission, one of our jobs in this lifetime is especially as we become more knowledgeable, we learn more as individuals, and we, to try to help the next man, try to help somebody else, see if it's somebody else that you can be a asset to or help to, but at
Uh-huh.
the same time, also protecting and creating the proper type of circles to where you can be empowered and not held down, held back. So it's a hell of a balance to do, because as much as you want to help somebody, you don't want to, you don't want to the point to where you're sacrificing your own mental, you don't sacrifice your own progress and stuff like that. But ultimately, people that you love, especially, look within your circle. I always say start family first, man. Start family first and find out how you can help make everybody else healthier, make
Right,
everybody else richer, make everybody else happier.
right,
And then, if you've tried and exhausted all resources of doing those things, and you've used all the knowledge you have to
uh-huh,
try to assist in things without forcing, of course,
right.
but then, also, when you're out in public, like you said, speaking to people about things that matter, man, because we just need to be
Mhm.
educated. We need more information to be, people just need to know more. Like I told you about the lady that worked at the AutoZone.
Right.
I mean, her mentality was so far from getting a job that paid better. You could tell she thought that job was the best thing since, I mean, I don't know where she worked before that, but in
Uh-huh.
her mind, I can't possibly find a better job than this.
Right, right.
I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you, but there's a lot more. I mean, you just told me with a firm with your chest sticking out, I get paid a lot of money. And I'm like, yo, are you calling you like 50 years old, 45
Uh-huh.
years old, you calling $17 an hour a lot of money? And this ain't to mess over nobody who's making that kind of money. Everybody's in a certain stage and a certain wage before they get to where they're going. But you got to understand where you are in the journey and understand that your journey shouldn't be limited to, such a small
Right.
number. But yeah, that's all, man. I say
Man,
spread
you
information.
did good, bro. We're gonna have to call for a part two. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes.
time is elapsing and stuff like that. But we're gonna
Okay.
definitely do a part two. We're gonna have Brother Q come back again. And yo, we're gonna have to let the viewers know right now. This is the end of this episode, this session. Stay tuned for part two. Keep watching videos from the bridge and check the links below so you can check the descriptions below so you can get Q's links. My
Yes,
bad.
sir.
Tracy.
Appreciate you for having